Hello and welcome back. I am Arumba. Thank you for joining me. Let's play some more tutorial campaign, the tutorial series with FilthyRobot and EU4. How's it going?
It's doing well. I was just wondering if there is a limit to the number of interfaces in this game or not. Have you
No,
reached the limit yet?
Every DLC they add a new one, in fact.
That's exciting. That's very exciting. It's content.
So you remember a few episodes back we were talking about money and how in the early game sometimes it can be good to deficit spend or, lose some money.
Yeah.
Look at our treasury now. We have 267 ducats on hand.
So why didn't we spend more deficit then?
Well, because taking loans does increase your inflation. Every time you take out a loan, you automatically increase inflation by 0.1. And you also end up spending 20% of the loan value back in interest, no matter what. Even
Does it count as a loan when we have a positive treasury but negative income?
No, it's only when you actually... The game will automatically force you to take out a loan if you have negative money. You cannot actually be negative.
Got it.
If any monthly tick happens while your treasury is in a negative balance, you will take out loans. The amount of loans required to bring you positive.
All right. Let's spend this money here, Rebecca.
Okay. All right.
What should we do?
First, excuse me. First things first, notice that we have an army in the province of Pale.
Yep.
It's got a little black flag on it. I've already told it to move back to Tyrone. There's a little black flag to the top right corner saying that this army is, it is...
In exile.
In exile. Yep. It's headed to safer land. During exile, it will be unable to engage in combat. So, because we are no longer have military access through England's territory, because we got that access via Leinster, and Leinster doesn't exist, we were automatically black flagged.
Okay. The black flag is not a negative. It just means we can't really do anything with this army till it goes home.
Nope. It actually means that it's completely invulnerable to combat.
Ooh.
So it just can't be engaged at all.
Okay. Should we be ramping up our... I mean, we're looking forward... I mean, I guess... Okay. Building a spy network in... Where is it? So, from Scotland is working to build Skyline. That's in England. So this is the one that's moving in Sligo or whatever it is here. What do we do with... He's been doing it, blah, blah, blah. It's currently at 25 out of 100. So we got ages yet before this is going to happen. If he's been doing this... No.
No. Remember, the first claim on a province, first claim on a country that you get is how much spy networks. It costs you 20.
Oh, I thought it said it's... Oh, it's a maximum of 100, not the... So the 100 is not task-oriented. It's not we've sent him to fabricate a claim. He needs to get to 100 to do that.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. You thought it was a percentage of completion.
Yeah,
no.
Okay.
We pre-sent him in anticipation of expanding.
So we are just ready to go here. So we need to...
Yes.
So then the question I was getting to, this is where I was going with this. Is it time to increase army maintenance again so we get our morale up so we can go crush someone?
Yes, if you want to go to war tomorrow, we want to raise maintenance now, or preferably 4 months ago. But there's a couple things to handle here. So we've got to kind of process the turn, right? We've just acquired some new land. How do we handle this new territory, and what does it even mean? What's going to be the issue with it? So go ahead and click on Tyrone.
Click on Tyrone. Left or right?
Left click.
You should be specifying these for sure. Got it.
Now, the most notable thing that we care about right now is the unrest in the province. Notice how...
It's at 11.
It's at 11.7. And if you hover over that, you can see the breakdown of how we got there. We've got 0.7 from war exhaustion, 1.05 from overextension.
What is...
Overextension is a number that is the amount of development that you have that is in territory that you own but don't have cored. We talked about cores at one point. I don't remember when. So we basically need to pay monarch points to core this land and say that we deserve this. This is our clay.
Okay.
And until we do that, we have this number called overextension. And the more land you have that's uncored, the more overextended you are. And overextension causes a number of problems.
So we want to essentially consolidate as we expand. We want to consolidate our claim to this through coring shit.
Yes, we have to spend monarch points to core the territory.
Okay. How do I do this?
The other number we care about, real quick, just one more thing. The other number we care about is the autonomy. Notice how the province autonomy is 75%. And that's because this is a territory, meaning that it is not a it's not a state. We have to make it into a state. Once it's a state, then we can make it into an actual full core, and we can get the autonomy below 75%.
Yeah.
So every time we play, I feel like, oh my god, this is too much information for Filthy. Press F1.
Okay.
Then press 9.
Okay.
This is our stability and expansion tab.
There is.
You see...
this is, by the way, another interface I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I know. I mentioned every single episode, every single patch, there's going to be a new interface. So top left corner...
Next time we send out a man on a rowboat, I'm going to volunteer.
Top left corner, we have war exhaustion. Yeah. So we accrued war exhaustion mostly due to sieges, the attrition we suffered, but also a little bit due to the combat we did.
Okay.
We're at 0.69 out of 20. The maximum war exhaustion you can have is 20. You get it from battles, you get it from sieges, you can get it from events, that kind of stuff. And if you hover over the 0.69, it'll tell you all the effects.
Yeah.
Diplomatic annexation and integration is reduced. National unrest goes up. Core creation cost goes up slightly. We get worse at sieging things. We produce fewer goods. War exhaustion's bad. You don't want war exhaustion.
Okay.
To the right and down about an inch or two, you see a number that says overextension. We're 21% overextended. If you take nothing away from learning this game, trust me on this, as a new player, do not, under any circumstance, go over 100% overextension.
Okay.
That is the magical breakpoint, where 100% overextension, it even says it in the tooltip, if we have over 100% overextension, we will be getting some nasty rebels regularly, with them appearing more often the higher the percentage is. So it's like turning overextension onto steroids. If you hit 100% breakpoint, all of a sudden, all of your rebels advance twice as quickly, unrest is insane, and your country will fall apart.
Okay.
So only do it when you know what you're doing. And even when you know what you're doing, you're probably going to underestimate the effects of being over 100%. What that means is you can take up to 100 development at a time, and if you get over 100%, and note I said over 100, you can be at 100, you just can't be at 101.
Okay.
So anyway, 21 overextension, and that's where we want to hover over the 21. Now you can actually see all the effects of being overextended.
Corruption, diplomatic reputation, mercenary costs. Okay, a lot of nasty stuff. Trade power. All right. So I assume we're going to manage this.
That's right. And here's where we can see the actual coring
Is
cost.
it going to be another? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, only two options. Cool.
Yep. Now here where we can see we got Leinster and Tyrone. This is our land that's causing overextension. That's why it's on this list, because we're managing overextension.
And that's 21 comes from the 10 plus 11?
The 21. Yes, 10 plus 11 is 21.
Okay.
Each development gives you 1% overextension at the beginning of the game. Later on, it'll give you a little bit less. But now you see the cost. If you hover over either of the ones where it says Make Core, you'll get a tooltip that'll tell you why it costs 51. Mm-hmm. Base coring cost is going to be it's 10 admin points per development. And then there's a following multiplicative modifier of is territory minus 50. So because it's new territory that we're not actually saying, hey, this is like a core province in our country, not to be confused with core, but like a principal part of our country, we only pay half.
Okay.
So 10 times 10 would be 100, right?
Yeah.
But we have a little bit of war exhaustion, taking it up to 102. Then it gets cut in half because it's a territory down to 51. That's why it's 51. Long story short, doesn't matter. Click Make Core on both of them.
Done.
Okay, moving right along now. Cores will take 36 months at most. That's the longest it can ever take. Is 3 years to core province. Cores are going to be faster in provinces that are provinces you have a claim to. Will reduce the coring duration by 10%. Cores, provinces that you have that are of the same culture group or are an accepted culture in your country will core in 50% of the normal time. If you have any other modifiers to your coring speed or coring cost, it will also multiplicatively reduce the coring time. So for example, if you have a national idea or you take an idea group which reduces your coring costs by 25%, not only does the cost get reduced by 25%, but the coring speed will be 75% of the normal amount because you have a 25% reduction in coring. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The coring cost reduction modifiers are really, really good. Anyway, so now if you hover over those on the outliner, you can see core constructions.
Yep. And I saw, for example, the one that Leinster, which we didn't have a claim on, it takes longer than Tyrone, where we did.
That is exactly what I was going to point out, and that is the exact reason is we have a claim on Tyrone, we didn't have a claim on Leinster.
Perfect.
So let's move on to the next war then. So let's go ahead and fabricate a claim on Sligo.
Okay, so I right-click on that to get to the actions over here. I'm going to go down to, is it a covert action?
Covert action, yep. Fabricate claim.
Hold on. Shit, I just double-clicked that. Went away. Oh, there it is. Fabricate claim. Done.
Yep. Okay, so you spent our points. Did you actually say send?
No, I have to select it, and now I'm clicking send. Okay.
Now, there's no functional purpose, really, to having spy network strength against a country that's not going to exist anymore, so I would retract that diplomat. Yep.
How do we we right-click on the guy, or click on the guy in the menu on the what are you calling it? Outlier? Outliner. Okay, that's what it was. That's right. And I just right-click on him.
And confirm to bring him back.
Okay, and we have one who is returning already. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so we got our claim. In one day, we're going to get a pop-up saying, hey, you can declare war on Sligo.
Cool.
Okay. And,
well, let's...
question. You were asking, do we want to raise our maintenance because we want to go to war?
Yeah.
Let's talk briefly again. Press F1 and then press 9. Go back to the stability expansion tab.
There.
And let's talk about war exhaustion. War exhaustion is going to decay for us by 0.1 per month every month that we're at peace. So our war exhaustion will be completely gone in 7 months.
Okay.
It is definitely advisable to take a break between wars so that your war exhaustion can go down.
It won't. It
It
doesn't decrease while you're at war.
Correct.
Okay.
There are other ways that you can reduce war exhaustion. You can have modifiers from your national ideas or from idea groups. You can be defender of the faith. You can have a ruler with a personality trait that reduces war exhaustion. Or you can just click that button right there that says reduce. You can spend diplomatic power points directly to buy down war exhaustion by 2. We don't want to do that. That's a bad thing to spend points on. So ideally, you want to just use your natural decaying to your advantage. So let's do this. Since it's going to take us 7 months to have our war exhaustion decay naturally, and it takes us 4 months to raise.
Didn't we just declare war on him?
No, we didn't. We fabricated a claim.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, go on.
So since it's going to take 7 months for it to decay down to 0, and it's going to take 4 months for our army to get to
So
full
we're
morale,
waiting 3 months.
let's wait 3 months, and then we'll raise morale.
Okay.
So we're in the second month right now. Let's wait till May. May 1st, we raise maintenance.
May 1st. Okay, because okay. So even though we did this in the middle of February, it doesn't matter. May 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Our transports should be brought into a port, so I'm going to send them to Tyrone, so they're not just hanging out in that navy, at that sea tile. There's no reason to keep them out
I
there.
want to use our diplomats too. If we're just running time, our diplomats are sitting here doing nothing. Let's go put them somewhere.
Yep. So we need to decide now who else we want to attack in Ireland. Looks like probably Kildare would be a good option.
Okay, and I want to find that out again. So I'm looking at, I right-clicked on them to get to the diplomacy thing. I'm looking at their rivals and their enemies and their allies. Aren't they, so allied with,
Yep.
Aren't we
Kildare
allied
is
with one of them too?
To our ally. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that he's allied to him. Looks like one of our other allies is about to die then too.
Which one is, okay, where is that ally again? Okay, so I want to find it. I don't know where the hell it is. Oh, fuck, I just clicked something that I didn't want to click. All right, let's find this again. So, all right, royal marriage with Clan Ricard over here. Where do I find, so how do I find?
One more above that is the actual alliance.
Yep.
Allied with Clan Ricard. Click on the flag and it'll take you
just
to it.
left click on it?
Yeah. Now you're looking at the diplomacy screen for Clan Ricard. You can click on the big flag in the top left corner.
Got it.
That'll take you to his capital.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yep. Or if you're looking at the map, you can left click on Clan Ricard, press the E key. Now you can see an alliance map showing again his claims, and blue will be the provinces that he's allied to.
All right, so Clan Ricard is allied with pretty much everyone else in Ireland.
Yeah, he's allied to Kildare, Leinster, and well, no.
Actually, the
Kildare,
three on the far
Leinster's
west
us.
then.
He's allied to us.
Oh yes, so it's right, because we've already gone down that rabbit hole of. So if I go back to Kildare and I look at their allies, he's only allied with the one. So it's going to piss off our ally when we kill this guy, right?
Well, yeah, for a moment until he dies too.
Okay.
We're going to kill Clan Ricard also.
Do we need to start fabricating claims on Clan Ricard then? Because we have two available, so both of them. Yep. That's what I want to
That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to start building a spy network against Kildare. And let's go ahead and build a spy network against Connaught as well.
All right, let me just assign those. So build spy network here. Confirm. I think that sent the first, and then I'm going to go over to the second one, and I'm going to build a spy network here and confirm. Okay, and they're both sent. All of our guys are taken care of. We have our next set of victims, and we will continue with our murderous rampage. But we have to wait a few months so our troops get less tired.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep. Okay, so we're good to go. So keep in mind, the reason why we allied these one province miners is that during war, each one of them is going to have anywhere from 5 to 7 troops. So they are a deterrent against England. We have 3 allies. Looks like England just allied the Papal State. That's pretty useful information. That's actually relevant to us. The Papal State, they are the leader of Catholicism, and they're not weak. They're actually usually fairly strong, but it's just worth noting. One of our primary rivals has just allied the leader of Catholicism. So.
Okay, are we worried about this 13K English army who's just landed in Pale?
No, not really.
All right.
I mean, with our army directly adjacent to it, actually, yeah, kind of. We still have military access through Ulster, so let's just bring our army back across the strait to someplace safe. Okay. Let's also put our navy not here.
And this is despite the fact you are convinced that England will not be attacking us because you don't think they've met the scripting stuff. So if they haven't, if you're convinced they're not going to attack us, we don't need to run. But this is just kind of like safety first. Let's move them back. No reason. Okay.
Yeah, since we have this army here and it's on 0 morale.
The army doesn't do anything in terms of like keeping unrest down or like, it doesn't modify anything positive for us being there?
It does, except not right now because we're on 0 morale.
Got it.
When you have your maintenance slider at 0, all of the positive effects of a present army are reduced as a multiplicative thing, 0%. So any advantages you have to keeping the army there are multiplied by 0.
Okay.
If we were to raise maintenance, let's just raise it temporarily to full, not actually let the month go. Now select the army. In the army interface, can you see where it says like where all the buttons are on the bottom right hand corner? There's a little thing in the center that says -3.01.
Yeah. Got it.
That's the amount that the army could reduce unrest by.
Okay.
Three unrest, up to a maximum of 5 if you had 20 fully reinforced regiments.
Got it.
So we don't really care though. 3 is not enough to actually make the unrest go away. Really, all you care about is if you can make the army reduce unrest all the way down to 0, then that's really good. But if you can't, it's just going to delay the inevitable, and it's probably going to rebel on you no matter what.
All right.
Okay, one last thing before we unpause and try to go the extra couple months here to get to May is that you wanted to spend some of this money.
Yeah.
So we have a few options. We've got 17,000 manpower, 2,000 sailors. If you press F1 and then comma, we have gained some force limit for both Navy and land because we've gained territory. We could train 4 more ships and up to 6 more units, 6 more military ground units.
Did we have planned? I'm sorry, just have something that kind of clicked in my mind here. Weren't we going to do something with our nobility in these new territories, or are we waiting on that?
Yes, we are. We cannot do it until the core
40%.
is done.
Oh, okay. And also because we don't want to do anything until nobody is at 40%, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, main thing is we can't give this land to the nobility until we have the course complete.
Got it. So it was F1 and comma to get to the military screen, and we're looking at force limits, and we're considering upping our, basically recruiting more army and paying more army because our force limit is higher, and that will help us out to have this army.
That's right.
What else could we do with gold if we were so inclined? Just rough. Don't go in deep with these, please, but just like in depth rather. Just broad options. What else could we do? We could do military. What else could we do?
We could buy. So you got land units, you got naval units, you've got buildings that you could build. It's not an option for us right now because we don't have any technology that has unlocked any new buildings yet. At the start of the game, you can't build anything except for forts.
Okay.
So as we get more technology, we would spend money on buildings. We could spend money on better advisors. Okay. We could spend our money on. We could fabricate. We could support some rebels, which is actually really interesting and fun to do. And I think we should totally do it. I think that it's a great way to spend your money if you have some. So actually, let's take a look at this real quick. Right-click on England.
Okay. Which
coincidentally,
part?
Anywhere on their country. We want to go to the diplomacy screen.
Okay.
Coincidentally, we have 72 spy network strength against them. You need 60 spy network strength to support rebels in a country, and you can't even access this interface unless you have 60, which I hate. Okay. I feel like you should be able to see it all the time. God damn it! But
so I see it is in green now. It says support rebels.
Yep. So click support rebels.
Okay.
And now we can see all of the various rebels that could spawn in England. Do you see this interface now?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 0%.
Yep. Don't worry about that. That number is complete horseshit.
Okay.
They never updated it. I don't know why.
All right.
So Flemish separatists, English particularists, Waldensian heretics, Navarran separatists, English peasants, Methian separatists, and Lollard heretics. These are the ones that we see, yes?
Mm-hmm.
If you hover, click on any of those, doesn't matter. And then in the top right-hand corner, it says support efficiency and cost.
Okay.
The cost is going to be a fixed multiplier. It's 62.5% of the purchase cost of the units that would be participating in the rebellion.
Okay.
The more provinces that are involved in this rebellion, the more cost there is because there's more provinces that could potentially rebel. What we're considering right now, what I would consider, is making some big rebellion fire in England, like the English peasants or the Lollard heretics.
How did you realize that they were larger?
There's more provinces listed.
Okay, got it.
This would be where also there's like 0.32% on Lollard heretics. Basically, I don't know what the hell's going on with that number. I've complained about it for months. It's not accurate, but the number itself gets bigger the bigger the rebellion is. 0.32% means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it would be a very low percentage chance there. Be a lot of money for a very, very low percentage chance.
Yep. Now the key here is that it says in the text up there, supporting a rebel faction will reduce the size of our spy network by 60, increase the chance of making progress towards an uprising by 10% for a period of 5 years. You will support them during your uprising. If the rebels gain power, they will become your ally. When it says if the rebels gain power, that's specifically talking about separatists. So if Methian separatists rebel, what their goal is, if you hover, like, click on Methian separatists.
Yeah, I see. If I hover, I see they want freedom for their people. They're
Yep.
Okay.
That's exactly right. So the separatists will form a new nation. So it's saying if they gain power, they will become your ally. We could be allied with Meath, is what that's saying.
Yeah.
Lawlord heretics want to, they believe that the Catholic Church is corrupt. They seek favor from Scripture. They want to spread their faith and fight against persecution. Peasants just want to raise autonomy, basically, weaken the country.
Okay.
Peasants are the weakest overall troops. They have no leader. They're not going to be very good. They're poorly equipped and trained, chiefly mustering infantry. So the most damaging one we could make them fight would be the Lawlord heretics.
Yeah, quite expensive though. I looked at it.
Yes. Now, this is weird, but it doesn't say it in here, right?
Okay.
But England is our rival. If you support rebels in a rival's country, you get power projection
Oh.
relative to the amount of money you've spent. How much? No freaking clue, because it's nowhere on this screen.
Okay.
But I'm going to just make an executive decision here and say that you have to click Lawlord Heretics confirm right now. We're going to spend 144 ducats to support rebels in England.
So much. That's so much money. Okay. I do have a question about this. I'm going to hit confirm. I just clicked it. It's clicked. It's gone. Money is disappeared from our treasury. That is in play now. Here's a question. So, is it how disruptive are these rebels to the enemy, to England here? Because that was a big chunk of our treasury, and we were counting like tenths of a ducat when we started this game, and this isn't that far into the game. So now we're throwing 150 ducats away for this. How disruptive is this going to be?
It should be very destructive. We actually should have looked at that interface a little bit longer, because now we can't access it anymore, which is another thing that I hate. The reason why it was 140 some ducats is because the rebellion was pretty damn big. It was like 22 regiments.
Okay.
We have 12.
Okay.
England has like 13 over here hanging out next to our army.
How do we keep? Can we keep these 13 occupied to make that? So can we make it worse for England by somehow penning these troops in so we can't go deal with his rebellion without warning him?
We could do a timing attack. We could when the rebels fire, he's going to be dealing with that. That's a fantastic time for us
to try pushing in on our claims.
To declare war on him, right?
Okay.
He'll be fighting them. We go
that.
And attack him. Worst case scenario for us, it's just going to cause some chaos in his country, raise some autonomy in a few provinces, give him some unrest and negative malices, and he's going to waste manpower fighting rebels. And more importantly, we're going to gain power projection. The power projection number hasn't updated, but I think it should update tomorrow. If not, it might not update until after we have had a monthly tick, or possibly when the rebels actually fire themselves. Right-click on England one more time.
Sure.
Go to the diplomacy interface. Go down to where the support rebels button was, and now when you hover over that, you can actually see the progress they have towards rebellion.
Okay.
So they're already at 70%. The Lawlord rebellion was on its way towards firing anyway, and all we've done is make it bigger.
Okay.
We've made it more dangerous for them, and also they're going to be friendly. They're going to be the rebels will be friendly toward us because we've given them money.
Okay.
So.
All right. So are we considering? So now I see Are we considering then doing a timing attack on the areas that we have claims on in the north of England? Are we considering doing a timing attack on any of that stuff with this rebel uprising, or do you think that is not enough strength for us to do that realistically right now? Like, not enough damage dealt to England quite yet, not enough strength for us.
My goal in doing this is I want to, number one, try to get the power projection, and number two, if we weaken England enough, France will declare on them, and if France declares on them, we're going to mop the floor with England.
We're going to pile in on top.
Oh, yeah. We're
Awesome.
going to step in with our own separate war and just beat the snot out of England.
Okay.
Kick them off our island. So that's a good thing to have spent money on, and I feel like it's pretty good use for those funds. Beyond that, we still have 120 some ducats. We could just maintain it in the treasury for security in the future, for future buildings.
We're going to war again, and we seem to make quite a big amount of cash from taking out these other players, not other players, these other countries. So why don't we consider investing in some more troops so that we can do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. What I would consider right now is I would definitely prioritize maxing out the naval force limit first, because those will make us money, where the land units won't earn us any money.
Okay.
So we could build like 4 more light ships, would cost 80 ducats.
So I've gone to the military screen. How do I find where do I invest in more ships from this screen?
Okay, press B.
Okay.
Actually, you want to get off that screen. You can't do it from there. That's just information about your army. So go to the actual full map with nothing open. Press B.
Yep.
We're back to the macro builder. Press 2 to go to naval units.
Okay.
The second tab down.
Yep.
And now you should see the 4 different types. You've got bark, early carrack, galley, cog, all that stuff, right?
And you're recommending the barks because those are the ones that we can use for because it says they're fast ships used primarily to secure trade opportunities. You said there are better privateers?
Well, they're the only ships that actually have trade power. They're the only ships that can protect trade, or privateering.
Okay, cool. You want to invest in a couple of those?
if we want to make money from this, this would be the way to get a return on investment.
All right.
So you could either click on Bark now, and then it'll show you a dialogue for which provinces you could build them in, or this is newer and much better. Instead of doing any of that, close out of that whole interface.
Oh, thank you for this, Arumba.
I know. Select the navy that we had privateering over in Lubeck.
Maybe? I'm gonna, okay, I'm going to use it off the screen. I can't find them from their flags, but I can do it from First Fleet, I think. Got it.
Yep. So once you have that navy selected, you'll notice at the top of this thing we have all of the 4 different ship types, and then you get to see all 4 ship types again. You see that big plus key?
No. Where am I looking for? Yes, on the actual ship. Yep. Okay.
This was new, and it's fantastic. The new ship will automatically merge with this navy, provided you not move it. So long as this navy continues to do the task of privateering in Lubeck, we can just click this button right here 4 times. It will choose 4 provinces somewhat intelligently, and those ships will automatically come to this new task.
How many of these are we building? 5? 4. Okay.
I'll build 4. So
it's 4 our limit? I didn't notice where I see that.
Oh, it'll tell you in the tooltip right there. See how it says naval force limit 18, and then in parentheses 21 out of 22.
Got it.
And now it's saying with ships being built, you'll be at 22.
And the force limit is a 1-to-1 then, number of ships per force limit?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Now, if we were to go over the force limit, it would cost more money, and we don't want to do that.
Good. So, this is where I like to see a treasury. This means our gold is working for us. I like that. Okay.
I noticed in the outliner, we've got a new little subcategory now called building ships. You can see how many days it's going to take.
And it automatically spread that out. So I saw earlier we could choose where we wanted to build it from. So this is now saying this is the fastest way to do that is to build it. Does it include travel time in that? So is it going to always...
Kind of.
Okay.
I mentioned it's semi-intelligent. What it will do is it chooses provinces that are close, that have shorter build times, get prioritized. But what it'll do sometimes, if you queued up like 300 ships, for example, it'll do multiple ships in a single province instead of using every single province that it can on the entire map that's available to it.
Okay.
So it's semi-intelligent, but I wouldn't usually do more than 10 to 20 ships at a time.
Okay.
Because it won't do it as fast as you could as a player.
All right.
So that's taken care of. And then with our remaining 42 ducats, I would probably just train a couple more infantry.
All right. So going to B again. 1 is the land units on this. Do we? Oh, we don't have. Okay. So you're suggesting? Do we wish to change infantry type at all here?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that at one episode, but we didn't do it because we were doing battles and sieges and stuff. But let's go ahead and change over to the halberd infantry.
How do I get to an option where I can change the type of units that we're using?
That's funny. You remember it exists, but you have no idea how to get there. Welcome to EU4.
Yep.
F1.
Okay.
Comma.
Oh, it's just a military screen. Okay, yeah.
Click on the word Latin medieval infantry. That's where you see your infantry type. Change to halberd infantry.
And okay, let's remember. Okay, now I want to remember why we wanted this one. So I'm looking at these offensive shock. That doesn't. Which one? So man, I can't see. So wait, the infantry. We had a big discussion about this. It's been a while since we've had this discussion. I don't recall why we summarize for me again why we wanted the halberd infantry instead. I remember we wanted to change it, but I don't remember why.
We're trading. Notice again how both of these units have 2 total pips.
Yep.
We're trading allocation. We're moving one of the defensive morale pips of the Latin medieval infantry into an offensive shock pip.
Okay.
That means that when we are in combat with any enemy, regardless of whether we're the aggressor or the defender, we will get a +1 bonus to all of our shock rolls on each of these infantry.
At the cost of a +1, we no longer have a +1 for defensive morale. Why do we? You had us prioritizing morale pretty heavily, or morale was very important. You said in these early battles. Why do we not care about defensive morale here?
Because we have so many positive morale modifiers that our total morale, the actual number, is going to be higher than most countries we fight.
Okay. So we can afford to trade off a little bit of this for some more offense.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yep. And so we're going to try to kill enemies as quickly as we can.
Okay, so I've switched over to halberd infantry now.
Yep. Now, again, if our army wasn't already at 0 maintenance, keep in mind your maintenance would have dropped down to 0.5 when you change your unit type. And notice how when you select our army now, every single one of these is now halberd infantry. They're all instantly all halberd infantry.
It doesn't cost us anything to re-equip them like that?
Nope.
Okay.
It costs you time. It costs you the morale.
Okay.
And then one last thing, we got to take a break. We're at 30 minutes now. That same thing we just did with the Navy to auto-build to a unit can be done with land units, but we can't do it with this army because there are no adjacent provinces that can be built in.
Okay.
You cannot build in a province that's coring, and Ulster is in between us and our actual land. They also canceled our military access, by the way. Our armies, or actually no, they didn't, but for some reason our army stopped marching back over to the other location.
Maybe because we
So-
changed stuff on it. Well, let's just before we end this, because we do want to end this part. Let's go ahead and hire them, just so that's off our to-do list. So land units. I'm gonna go to halberd infantry. I'm gonna have to choose where you do it. I'm just gonna select the ones that are closer.
Yep. Now
sense.
notice when you say land units, B1, and then you go halberd infantry.
Yeah.
You've got 3 provinces that are pure teal, pure green color, and then 4 provinces that have those little dashed lines at them.
Yeah.
It's telling you that ships are being built there.
Okay. Oh, I can't build ships and military units at the same time.
1 unit or 1 building at a time.
Okay.
You can build
got
a
it.
building and a unit. You can build a building and a unit at the same time, I believe. Yes, but you cannot build a land unit and a ship at the same time. So
How many of these would we like?
I would probably just err on the side of like 2 for now. The reason for that, it's going to take us up to 15 units, and our combat width right now is only 20. And most of the time, we're going to be fighting in terrain that reduces combat width by about 20 to 25%. So
Okay.
15 is pretty solid. Plus, it's not going to overload our expenses.
Then
So,
let's call this a good point to cut. And
yeah,
yeah.
let's do it. All right.
See-
We're going to be back same time, same place tomorrow then.
See you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed it.
See you in a bit.